welcome back to the farm. It is October 2nd, and we have officially had first frost. The biggest marker for that for me is the nasturtiums are all just falling over, dead. Some are deader than others. I don't know if you remember from my tour in the last video that you couldn't see the celery through all these nasturtiums. Well, there's the celery. So I need to come out here with a couple of buckets and pull all of the tomatoes, because those are pretty much, some are squishier than others, but those are mostly done. A lot of the stuff that I still have in the garden is fine. The cabbages, they're frost tolerant. The broccoli and cauliflower are frost tolerant. The Brussels sprouts, pathetic as they are, they're frost tolerant. So they're all fine. I don't have to worry about them. I do need to clean up the peppers because those are all toast as well. The cover crop that I put down may end up being a problem because that is peas and I want to say oatgrass. And I thought that would die with first frost like the buckwheat does, and it didn't. So I may be having to clean that up the hard way, but that's fine. I had a doctor's appointment this morning, so I've got the morning off. So I think I'm going to go in and get some breakfast and then come out with a couple of buckets and start picking tomatoes. I've made it over the fence once over there. Hey!
Nice. Alright.
I'm going through picking all of the ripe or ripening stuff. If you could go through and then get all the green stuff in that bucket. That's just where the flower attached.
Oh, that was on the other side, actually. There's where the flower attached.
No, that's where the stem attached. The bottom is where the flower attached.
Oh, okay. They're a lot better than the frost.
It's the frost, yeah.
Put it in here?
Yep. Yes. But they're probably very overgrown turnips. We should have picked them months ago. When they were tiny and delicious.
Yeah, there's a couple at the
Yeah, I saw.
far end of this bed.
There's also some radishes in here too.
Like dead center in the middle.
Yep. Not a comparison I would have made, but yes, like I thought. It is what happened. That's it. I'm getting the last of the frost tender stuff now. Hey. I kind of hated having to pick my peppers because I'm not Peter Piper. That's a bad joke. Especially the lunchbox peppers or the snack box peppers, because they never really ripened. I got a few out of it, but they just, I think that was one. They just never really got good size on them. So I did get a bunch of jalapenos. And I do have some of my jalapenos. And you can kind of see the difference between the two. There's a big size difference. At least the ones I've grown so far, the natas have not gotten very large. So the jalapenos are, this is why they're good for stuffing, because they're a good size. You can tell that I probably left them out here a little long because they're getting all this crack on it. But that's fine. I'm either going to turn this into cowboy candy, which is like a pepper relish, a spicy pepper relish, but I'm going to use a lot of the natas and a few of the jalapenos because I'm a wimp. And any of the rest of the jalapenos, I'm just going to dry. And that's when they become chipotles. So if you want chipotle peppers, dry your jalapenos. I think it's chipotle. I don't think it's poblano. I think poblano is the fresh version of ancho. I'm not a pepper expert, so don't hold me on any of this, but I think it is jalapeno to chipotle, poblano to ancho, but that's neither here nor there. We got all the red peppers in, and the ones that are ripe, I'm going to put in Ziploc bags and throw in the freezer because I don't know what I want to do with them. And the ones that are ripening, I'll put on the counter until they are ripe, and then I'll put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in the freezer because I don't know what to do with them. The green ones, I am going to turn into, well, there's multiple names for it. My mother called it mincemeat. I've seen it listed as fake apple pie filling. I've seen it listed as green apple or green tomato pie filling. Either way, my mom always made mincemeat, and we would never eat it because, ooh, pie with meat in it? Bleh. And it wasn't until I was an adult and was canning, had a huge overflow of green tomatoes one year, and I went looking for recipes, and I found this faux apple pie filling, and I started making it, and the smell got to me, and I realized, and I called my mother and said, "Was your mincemeat pie filling just green tomatoes?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, what did you think was it?" It's a very good way to use up green tomatoes if you are not from a culture that does fried green tomatoes. I am not. I have tried fried green tomatoes. I've tried very good fried green tomatoes. I would not make very good fried green tomatoes, so I'm just not going to go down that route. And my other thing that I would use green tomatoes for is I have a really good green tomato relish recipe, but I have so much of that left from last year that I'm not going to make it this year. So pie filling it is, and we'll have pie this winter. That's all that I need to rescue from the garden today. My eggplants would have been vulnerable, but they never really did anything. So in fact, I accidentally pulled one thinking it was a weed that I don't like having in the garden. The nasturtiums I could pull, but I'm actually going to leave them. The flowers are still there, and I've seen the bumblebee bees puttering around checking out what's still here. So I'm going to leave those for the bumblebees, and hopefully they get what they need. We had at my bee club, we had an entomologist come in from one of the local universities to talk to us a couple of sessions ago. And he was talking about pollinators, but he couldn't have cared less about honeybees. His thing was bumblebees. And by the end of that session, every single one of us wanted to go out and buy bumblebee hives. So we're all very supportive of bumblebees. Bumblebees are actually better pollinators than just about anything else out there, including honeybees. Honeybees are not very good pollinators because, let me go off on a tangent here, a shock, I know. Honeybees are collecting the pollen as well as the nectar. So they're packing that pollen really tightly in on their back legs. Bumblebees don't care about pollen. They're not pollen collectors. They just want the nectar. They just want it for food. So, but all those hairs on their back just attract all that pollen. So when they go from one to the next, they're dusting it off on the next flower they go to, whereas the honeybees are kind of holding it close. So encouraging bumblebees in your garden is a really good thing. One way to do that is find old birds' nests, like maybe in your shed or in a tree that you know, either you know that they aren't using anymore, or that's in a place where you don't necessarily want them using it anymore. And pull those out and take them someplace where you don't mow and you don't disturb it very much, and put those on the ground. Then the bumblebees turn those into nests. So there you go. And this is a good time of year to do that, because then the nests are out there waiting for the bees come spring. You can also buy bumblebee hives. They're like a box that you bury in the ground with a tube that comes out of the ground, and you can lift the top of the box. You don't cover it up, but you set it down in the ground. So you can check on them. But that's what they do, is they bury themselves underground. So there's your bee facts for today. All right, let's see, it is almost 11, so I do need to get this stuff inside, get some of it sorted and organized, and then I've got to get back to work. I'm not sure if I'll be back this afternoon, but if not, I will see you tomorrow. it looks like the chickens are in for the rest of the season. I'm not too happy about this, but I was making breakfast and I looked out the window just in time to see a chicken go zipping by, and then something orange go zipping by, and I thought, well, that's weird. Molly doesn't usually chase the chickens. So I came out on the front porch to see what was going on, and there's a fox right by the front steps with one of the Bielefelders in its mouth. So I chased him off. She got away, and Morgan and I have rounded up all of the chickens and put them back in the run, because he's gonna, now that he knows there are chickens here, he's gonna come back. So they're in until at least spring. Morgan and I are gonna go this afternoon and clear the fence line to make sure that the wire is hot enough to keep him from coming back in. The Bielefelder herself is fine. A little embarrassed. He got a hold of her tail and pulled out all of her tail feathers. She has got a bare little behind, but there's no blood, there's no wounds, so she's going to be fine, thankfully, and we're just going to have to be a little more careful. I've seen a fox in the area before, but that was like right after I moved in, and I haven't seen one in our area since we got the chickens. But I do know my neighbors, not the folks in the red house, but the folks kind of behind them, they had a couple of their chickens attacked by something. They're not sure what. So it may be that fox. But I guess I know what we're doing this afternoon. right, so we got the fence line all cleaned up. Morgan is getting the voltage meter so we can hook the charger back up and get that tested. Where is the charger? Over there somewhere. And test the voltage. It was getting like 1.2 on the meter, and I've seen it as high as 3, which is really where we'd rather have it. You can see our poor little girl with her naked butt. She won't let us anywhere near her. We tried. And while we were cleaning up the edge, we found there was a whole lot of thistle growing up in here that the girls weren't doing anything to clean up. And of course, all this amaranth. I had ignored it all season, remembering the destruction that they wreaked over here last year. I don't know if you remember. I'll see if I can find any pictures of it. How overgrown this all was last year. And they went through and they just decimated it. They just wiped the whole thing out. So I figured they'd do the same thing with it this year. But they really didn't touch it. So...
I'll just do a loop around.
Yeah. How was it?
1.8.
That's better.
Every so often it decides to start at like 7.0.
That'd be nice. There's our girl with her naked little butt. She's flapping around just fine, so the worst that seems to have happened is that she lost all her tail feathers. So the one thing that I have left to do tonight is I have to reset this door so that it doesn't automatically open in the morning. I was out here this morning taking care of the rabbits, and I came over to let the chickens out to free range, and 3 of the new chickens, the Americanas, just flew from the ground over the fence. Like, I don't need to wait for you. Well, that's not what we want when there's a fox in the area. So they are getting their wing feathers clipped tomorrow. They are not going to be happy about it, and I'm not going to be happy about it either. It's been fun watching them fly across the yard, literally, when they get excited about something. But I'd rather have them safe and clipped. So I'm going to go do this, and I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning to clip wing feathers. No, you're not coming out. Look at you. All right.
Unfortunately, the tail feathers are hiding up top.
Oh, okay. Well, if they're not fighting us, we won't mess with them. So now we just gotta get another girl.
Gotcha.
All right. All right. So we are doing 2 things. We're gonna clip her wings. So we're gonna open up her wings. You see this line of feathers here? I'm just going to cut. Hang on. Just a little bit. I hate to do because there's such big feathers. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at their tails. Because these feathers here, if they're pointy, it's male, and if they're rounded, which I think these are, they're female.
There's not much of a crest.
No, they don't. It's how wide it is, so that could be a male, but I think it's female. All right, she can go in the yard. No, we only do one side.
Okay.
easy stuff's over here, so let's go get the easy stuff
I think
instead.
the problem is that I gave him the easy stuff first. Well,